This video is designed to help you identify and manage high-risk crystalline silica work. Crystalline silica can be found in many common building materials such as bricks, concrete and tiles. Working with these materials can create hazardous dust. If this dust is inhaled, it can cause deadly lung and respiratory diseases like silicosis. Before you start work, the first step is to identify whether you'll be carrying out any of the following processes on materials that contain crystalline silica. Using a power tool or mechanical plant to cut, grind or polish, or any other activity that's likely to generate dust. Using a road header on an excavated face. Dust arising from manufacturing or handling. Screening or quarrying or tunnelling. Without considering controls in place, the next step is to determine if the process is likely to result in an airborne concentration of respirable crystalline silica that exceeds half the exposure standard or is a risk to the health of any person at the workplace. If either of these are likely, the process is classified as high-risk crystalline silica work, and you must prepare a crystalline silica hazard control statement or add this information into a safe work method statement. If you're unsure, you must complete a risk assessment and consider the following: the specific tasks or processes, the form, the proportion of crystalline silica contained in the material, previous atmospheric monitoring results, frequency and duration, information about incidents, illnesses or diseases associated with exposure. If you identify through the risk assessment that the activity is not high-risk crystalline silica work, you must keep a copy of this for the duration of the work. If you are still not sure, even after going through the risk assessment, you must treat it as high-risk crystalline silica work. This statement sets out the hazards and risks arising from the work, details the measures to control those risks, and how they will be implemented. Essentially, this document is the same as a safe work method statement. For example, under hazard, you could list cutting concrete that may generate dust. For risk, you could list the risk of silicosis and lung cancer. Under control, you could describe the measures taken to control those risks, such as on-tool water suppression. Then under implementation, you would describe how the risk control measures are to be implemented, such as water suppression being correctly installed and having adequate supply. When determining what controls to implement, start with the highest order of control as possible. Eliminate. Physically remove the hazard from your workplace. Substitution. Using material with less crystalline silica content. Isolation. Isolating workers from exposure. Engineering controls. Using on-tool water suppression or on-tool extraction attached to an industrial class M or H vacuum. Administrative controls, limiting exposure through task rotation. Personal protective equipment, such as a P2 half-face respirator. Employers must consult with their workers and/or HSRs when identifying hazards and selecting risk controls. You must ensure high-risk crystalline silica work is performed in accordance with the hazard control statement. If it is not, work must not proceed. Employers are also required to provide safety training and instruction to any employees and information to any job applicants who may engage in high-risk crystalline silica work. This includes information about hazards, risks, and the measures to control those risks. To find out more, visit the WorkSafe website.